Hi guys, I'm Anita and I'm back with another video. Today I wanted to do my next wrap-up of this year. This contains books 36 to 40 and yeah, let's just get into them. The 36th book that I read this year was Equal Rights by Terry Pratchett. This is the first book in the Witches series, but it's also the third book set in the Discworld series. This book starts out with us following this wizard who is about pretty close to dying, but he has this last mission that he has to do, and so he seeks out the 8th son of the 8th son, because he has to transfer the powers off to this person. Some wizard powers off to this person, and before he realizes what he's done, he has actually been transferring the powers to a girl, because the 8th son is actually not a son, but it's the 8th daughter of the 8th son. Yeah. And so this spins this book into motion, and we follow this from two perspectives. One of them is from v.e.schwab, who's this 8-year-old girl who's actually the 8th daughter. So she has this wizard power that you don't know what to do with. And then we follow it from a granny's point of view, who is a witch. And she makes it her mission to sort of train v.e.schwab to become a witch, because of course girls can't be wizards as well as men can't be witches. This is just the norm, this is how it's always been, so obviously v.e.schwab cannot be a wizard and seek to become part of the wizard school. But as things goes along, Granny has to realize that the powers that v.e.schwab has, it doesn't really work with the witch's powers, so she ends up deciding that she has to seek out the university for witches, which is called something I forgot the name of that university, but they seek it out, and obviously so they goes on this journey to find this university, and when they get there, obviously they don't want to let v.e.schwab in as part of the university because she's a girl, so she can't be a wizard and stuff. Anyway, this is such a great book. I really enjoyed this. I've read the first two Terry Pratchett books, and while I enjoyed them, this definitely upped that a lot. I like that it felt like he was better at finding the sort of writing style that he wanted to use, and the humor he was more prominent in this one. I felt like it fitted better with the story, and I felt like he finally found the writing style that he wanted to go for. I also really enjoyed the subject matters. I think that he explored that really well, and he has it's just such a fun way of writing this. I was on board for the whole thing. I ended up giving this book a 4.5 out of 5 stars, so really close to a 5-star read for me. Yeah. And it's a really short book, but the weird thing about these books is they're not divided by chapters at all. They're just one long book, one long chapter, if you will. There's not one single chapter in this book, so that was a little weird. I had to get used to sort of find out, oh, I have to stop after different paragraphs if I want to remember where I've gone. I'm always stopping at chapter breaks and stuff usually, so that took some getting used to, but I cannot wait to read on in the series, and I have some more books out from the library. If you're curious about the Danish title, this is actually the 8th daughter, so this fits. It makes a lot of sense considering where the story went. Then the next thing that I read was Defendant Volume 1 by Jeff Lemire and Dustin Nguyen. I'm not sure how to pronounce this. I've heard people saying Nguyen, I think. This graphic novel follows this robot boy who wakes up and doesn't really remember where he is, but it's difficult to explain, but there's a lot of people out after these robots because they can do a lot of things, and no one really knows how they were created, so they're seeking answers to that. It's difficult to explain without giving out too much, I think, but I really enjoyed this book. I really thought that the main characters were cute and funny to follow, and it was really touching at times, and I'm really looking forward to see where this is going to go in the next volumes. The art style is very different. If you can see this, it's very different compared to Monstrous and the Walking Dead graphic novel that I also read this for the last couple of months. But I did really enjoy the storyline a lot more than I did in Monsters. It was a lot easier to get into, in my opinion. And I'm really looking forward to see where this will go with the next volume, which I still haven't gotten around to get, but I will get it really soon. Then I read Furthermore by Tahara Mafi. This is a standalone novel that I had to read for the BookTube SFF read-alongs in March. I had this down from my library as an e-copy, and I was sort of reading it while I was reading this one by Terry Pratchett, and I think they were not similar in that way, but they were sort of told. I want to say that Terry Pratchett's book was also a little middle grade-esque feel to it, because one of the protagonists was an 8-year-old girl, and I just enjoyed that story that much more than Furthermore. They were both sort of on their own adventure. Furthermore follows this girl called Alice, who she's very different than everyone else because she has no pigment, so she's colorless completely. So everyone has sort of always been looking down on her. One day when she comes of a certain age, she's to see if she can get this task so that she can fulfill. And things doesn't really go as planned, and she doesn't get this task, so she's instead joining along with a friend, and they go into the realm of Furthermore, which is a strange place where there's a lot of different magical things happening, and there's a lot of rules that you have to come by. And while I enjoyed the writing style, I thought the writing style was actually really interesting. I also liked, for the most part, the setting, and it was interesting in the beginning, but as it just went along, I just got a little bored with it. And the main characters were not any I really related to very much. And I also felt like the ending was really convenient. But I ended up giving this a 3 out of 5 stars. Then I read This Savage Song by v.e.schwab. This is the first book in the Monsters of Verity duology. This was a really, really fast-paced book. I wasn't aware that I would be able to read it in so few sittings. This book is set in this area called Verity, and this is sort of a secluded area where it's filled with different sort of monsters. And it's divided into 2, North City and South City. And North City is ruled by this man called something Harker. I forgot his first name. And he sort of controls this area by saying he would protect the people from these monsters if they can pay for his protection, sort of. So they were to wear this sort of medal, and then the monsters would stay away from them. And if you didn't have this medal, then you're pretty much in trouble. And then South City is run by this guy called Henry Flynn, who is a doctor, and he, in this part of the town, is mostly being run by the Sunai, who, there are 3 types of monsters. There's the Sunai, the Malkai, and we mostly hear about the Malkai as well as the Sunai in this one. Malkai is sort of the prominent monster in North City, and Sunai is prominent in the South City. And then these monsters are created after different sort of violence has been committed. And the more violent, the stronger the monster will be. I think the Malkai is created when some people do random acts of violence, like not necessarily killing anyone, but just beating them up. That's enough. And then there's the second type of monsters. They are created when someone murders someone, and then the Sunai are created when there's like a mass murder, a lot of people murdered by the same sort of act. And Sunais, they are more like soul eaters. They are the strongest of the monsters. Henry Flynn, who runs the southern part, he pretty much lets everyone be as long as they haven't done anything bad. So if some people has done something not good, they have a certain aura around them, and then these monsters will be able to eat them. And so that's a lot better. So in that sense, so you're a lot more safe if you live in this part of town. But then this book follows 2 people. It follows Kate Harker, who's the daughter of the ruler of the North City, and she wants apparently to be the same as his father. She wants to be able to step in his footsteps. She wants his approval. She lost her mother in a car accident a couple of years ago. And then we follow August, who is a Sunai, and he is actually Henry Flynn's adopted son. And then the thing is that he has to start going to the same school as Kate and sort of going undercover to sort of figure out if they could use some info from that. Yeah, they meet and then things sort of spans out from there. I really enjoyed this book. I thought it was really, really fast paced. I didn't like Kate very much as a character. I thought she was really annoying, and I didn't really understand her reasons for wanting to be exactly like her father and being a rebel as the way that she was. But I did really enjoy August's story. I thought he had a really interesting story, and I really enjoyed some of the side characters. August's sister, who I forgot her name. I really forgot her name. I think she was really interesting, but sadly we didn't see enough of those characters. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I read this in a couple of sittings, and I ended up giving it a 4 out of 5 stars. And also I read this one for the BookTube SFF Awards, as it is shortlisted in the young adult category. The 40th and final book that I read for this video was Golden Fool by Robin Hobb, the second book in the 20-man trilogy. This book, I really love this book. This is a continuation of the Fitz and the Fool story. So for obvious reasons I can't tell you a lot about the plot, because then I'll probably spoil pretty much of the Farseer trilogy as well as the first book in this trilogy. Let's just say that I really enjoyed this book. These books are really slow moving. They're really not very fast paced, but you really get to know these characters. You get so many things from these characters, and you just keep on putting a new layer to these characters, so that you absolutely start loving them a lot more than you were before. And I really enjoy that. I think that Robin Hobb is a terrific writer in that way. She writes really great characters, and we met some new characters in this one. I really enjoyed one of the new characters that we met, and the relationship that he sort of got with, sort of the friendship that he got with one of the other characters. It's very vague, I know, but I will say that it's not very possible to read this trilogy without having read the Farseer trilogy for certain, but you also probably have to have read Life Ship Traders trilogy, because some of the characters from that series are showing up in this series, and there's a lot of discussions back and forth with some things and some issues that were in the Life Ship Traders trilogy. So you actually, I will say that you have to have read the first 6 books in this set in this world before you get to this. Some may argue that you can read this without having read the Life Ship Traders, because yeah, you could do that. But also, Life Ship Traders trilogy is just a completely other sort of story than the Farseer and the 20-man. The pace of that story is a lot different, and the characters are so different, and you get multiple perspectives in that. And I think maybe if you think that the Farseer trilogy was a little boring, then you might actually really enjoy the Life Ship Traders. But I just think that you should read all of Robin Hobb's books. I can't wait to get into the last book of this trilogy. I've heard that people really, that one really hits them, and it's their favorite, so I'm really looking forward to getting into Fool's Fate. As the plot were going, not a lot of things were resolved, but it definitely led up to an epic final in the final book of this, and I'm really looking forward to see where this trilogy will end up, and I'm scared for the characters. Yeah, I really enjoyed it, even though it was really slow paced and there wasn't a lot going on. I just really loved being back with these people, and the writing and the story in general. It was really amazing, and I ended up giving it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. It wasn't a complete 5-star book because there were some unresolved things, but still, I really enjoyed it. Yeah, but this ends this wrap-up session. Let me know in the comments down below if you've read any of the books and what you thought of them. If you feel like you want to pick any of the books up after what I've said as well, let me know about that as well in the comments below. yeah, if you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video very, very soon. Goodbye!